Hey everybody, Sports Central coming up next, and some very special guests. Dr. Rich Radocha and the Polk County Amateur. We also have Olympic hurdler Tracy with USA Water Ski Foundation, and a special interview with the United States Tennis Association Pro of the Year, Alex Bose. Stick around for this edition of Sports Central. Hey everyone, welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. My co-host, to my right, to your left, Mr. John Oney. And John, we've got a couple of people to thank, but a very special show on our horizon here.
We have a great show ahead, but first we want to thank Contempo Vacation Homes as a proud sponsor of this segment.
It's one of the hottest things going right now, and folks can, from California to Las Vegas to right here in Polk County, those vacation rental homes are the hottest things going.
They sure are. Well, we got some golf to talk about. I'm excited. I'm the golfer of the crew, so are you, but we've got a special guest here. We're going to talk about the Polk County Amateur Championship coming up.
Well, Polk County Amateur, for those of you that don't know, is the premier event in Polk County. We have pros, we have amateurs. It is a mixture of some real talent out there, John, and being the scratch golfer that you are, you know, you've you've had an opportunity to interview and to be involved with some of these guys over the years, and it's got to be a thrill for you just to be around that group.
Yeah, it really is a thrill for me, and what surprised, I guess it doesn't surprise me anymore, but Polk County continuously produces some top-notch golfers. So what we're going to talk about today is a great championship, and we're going to see some of those golfers, but really this championship is about all types of amateurs here in Polk County. So.
Well, some great stuff, and with us today, a gentleman that's no stranger to our cameras, and that's Dr. Rich Radocha. And Rich, you know, we've got a lot to talk about today, but to kick it off with the Polk County Amateur, what are the dates this year?
The dates are August 2nd and 3rd. It's being held at Lone Palm for the second straight year. It's the second year of a 3-year commitment with Lone Palm, and we look forward to a great championship.
Well, I had the opportunity to talk with one of your co-organizers, if you will, Mr. Drew Gillian. And, you know, Drew, being the character that he is, you always have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt, but he said, you're going to have a record entry this year.
Well, we anticipated the process of switching from Lake Regent to Lone Palm was interesting last year. We've expanded the field a little bit this year. We've eliminated the club team championship, and there's 2 major divisions now, the amateur division and the senior amateur division. We got a lot of new entries last year, switching it to a new site, and we expect a full field again this year.
Yeah, it's exciting because you know, this has been around for 38 years. So, you know, just speak a little bit about the legacy, about the Polk County Amateur Championship, well, what that means to our community.
Well, the Amateur Championship was started in 1978 by Charlie Stein. Charlie Stein was the editor of the Winter Haven News Chief, and he was promoting a magazine called Golf Week, which was Florida Golf Week at the time, and now it's turned into a national publication, Golf Week magazine. And the first championship was held that year to promote the magazine. So 38 years later, here we are. I've been involved now with our committee and with the support of Bright House and Drew and Bruce Scamhorn and a bunch of other people that work about 9 months a year. So this is our 10th year of running the event, and it's just been a joy. And it's also been a joy with the charitable contributions that the committee has been able to raise over the last 10 years. At the end of this year, we'll have maxed out at about $625,000 in 10 years to 3 local charities.
Well, it's not going into my bank account, but where does the money go?
Well, the money goes directly via sponsorship to the 3 charities, and that's the Citrus Center Boys and Girls Club, which takes up Eastern Polk County.
Yep.
That consists of 3 sites, Winter Haven and Haines City and Lake Wales. The Girls Inc. Incorporated of Winter Haven, and then the First Tee program of Lakeland. So the donors who are in the advertising campaign can donate directly to the charity. The money raised through the event by entries and whole sponsors runs the event, and then any money left over, because we are a 501c3, that's donated back to the charities at the end of the year to keep a zero balance in the account.
Yeah, so part of your, obviously, part of the revenue for the tournament comes from entry fees.
It does. It does. About 75 to 80% of the revenue for the event comes directly from entry fees. But the entry fees also give the player quite a reward because they get 2 rounds of golf at Lone Palm. We feed them lunch each day. There's about 40% of the field that's paid out in gift certificates, and then the champion of each flight gets about a $300 crystal trophy. So there's a lot of things that they get for the bang for the buck, and they also get tee gifts that normally consist of at least 2 different tee gifts, that they get as part of the entry.
Well, I know our media partner, The Ledger, that always does a great job of covering that event. Not just the scores. They have a few highlights in there, and it's always fun to read. And I've never played in it. I wouldn't want to embarrass myself. John, obviously, very capable in that area. But when you look at the talent that's out there, I mean, Lee Jansen, 2-time U.S. Open champion, he's played in this thing.
Right.
I mean, you've had some folks that have come through there,
Well,
some pros and amateurs.
Last year, Case Guard, who was a local raised golfer and participated and played on the Florida Southern golf team, he shot 11 under par for 2 rounds from the back tees of Lone Palm to win it. It was a very tightly fought championship last year, and we expect the scores to be in about that range. I mean, to think about winning this thing, generally you're looking at somewhere between 6 and 10 under par for 2 rounds.
Oof.
Wow.
Lone Palm's a tough course.
It's playing. And it's a great course, too.
I don't know why. Maybe my course management skills just aren't what they should be, but I've always found Lone Palm to be a tough course.
Yeah.
Of course, George Jenkins, ain't going to be a slacker course by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, it's a good course. And really, not to scare our viewers, you don't have to be a scratch golfer to participate. Talk a little bit about who can play.
Well, who can play is dependent upon 2 things: a resident of Polk County or to belong to a golf club in Polk County. There are 6 flights in the tournament, and the flights are determined by handicap, so they do have to have a registered handicap because that determines what flight. And each flight generally has about 15 to 20 players in the flight, and they compete against those players within their flight, within their handicap groups. The trophies and the gift certificates are the same for each flight. So if you win the 5th flight, you're going to win the same amount as the overall champion does. And like I said, we pay out somewhere between 33 and 40% within each flight. So somewhere between about 8 players per flight is going to end up walking home with a gift.
I like that kind of.
Yeah.
And snacks.
And snacks.
You can't beat the snacks.
Well, the chef at Lone Palm has given us the options of different choices. And last year we had a Cuban day that was out of this world. And we're going to go back with that, and then we have a little special treat on the 2nd day this year. The Charlie Stein Award is also given out at this event, and that's in honor of Charlie, who started the event. And this will be the 6th year for a presentation as Charlie Stein Award, which is given out to somebody in Polk County who promotes the game of golf and also volunteers and gives of their time and effort to make the sports arena in Polk better than it was before they got involved. So that's also an interesting thing to recognize somebody in our community that gives back to the community.
Well, and that's, when you take a look at, the charities that are the recipients, Girls Inc. and First Tee and Boys and Girls Club, the programs that they offer these kids are second to none. I mean, they're career, vocational development, athletics, things to do. So they're very, very worthy organizations. And you look at the First Tee, for example, and I mean, there's pro golfers that have come out of that First Tee program.
Well, look at Athena Yang right now, what she's doing in Polk County. I mean, she's just beyond belief as to what she's accomplished. Just finished 2nd in an AJGA event, within the last few days. Was tied for the lead in the Florida State Junior Amateur Championship just 2 weeks ago. She started at the First Tee. If it wasn't for the First Tee, she wouldn't be, playing golf. So.
Well, John, I know you're going to ask him about the U.S. Open, and you better do that. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Radocha has a wonderful abode on course number 7 at Pinehurst. So,
Which I think he just graciously before the show invited us both up there.
oh yeah,
To hang out.
heard that.
For a little bit of time. So yeah, switching gears a little bit, talking about the U.S. Open that just occurred at Pinehurst. Tell us a little bit about your experience up there for the 2 weeks. What was it like to be right there?
Well, it was
the national championship.
It was beyond belief, is what it was. It really was. 1999 was the first Open, which was the one that Payne Stewart won. And then the 2005 Open was held there. And then this year was really inaugural event because of the fact that they had back-to-back men's and then women's, U.S. Opens at the same golf course. The place was packed. It was a zoo. It was really interesting to see the layout of the course. It's a course that I've played close to 200 times now, being a member there for the past 8 years. It's one of the toughest golf courses in the United States, and it's defined as the home of American golf. But it was really interesting to see, especially how the women competed on the same golf course that the men competed upon.
Now, were the women tee off the same as the men?
No, the women's tees were set up about $800 to $1,000 yards less than the men's tees. In fact, it was interesting to see the change that took place in the intervening 2 days or so between the championships because of change of tee markers and moving pavilions and different stands that were changed and things along those lines. But and actually the women, the course was a little faster and it was a lot hotter the second week, so the course played a little bit different for the women, but it was an overall just fabulous time, and hopefully at some point in my life we'll be blessed to have that same thing happen again.
That's unbelievable.
That really is. One thing I want to get back to the Charlie Stein, because I really feel like that, people who win or earn the Charlie Stein Award are really ones who are so ingrained in our community, really support our community. And I happen to have had the experience of working with a past Charlie Stein Award recipient, that's Sharon Smyer. So I have to give a shout out to her. Hopefully she's watching today. But it's people like that who really kind of help, and yourself, who kind of keep these events going on year to year. And so you should be commended, and your committee should be commended for all the work you guys do. Well,
when you come up with an idea and then they elect your chairman, you got to have a good support group behind you. And I do have a good support group, with Drew and Bruce and the help that Bright House gives us. And it's fun to do because we're at a giving back point of our lives. And each year we try to change things up, make things better, and with Charlie Stein passing away roughly about 6 years ago, we wanted to honor him. And this will be interesting again. Sharon chairs the subcommittee of selection committee for the Charlie Stein Award. It's always kept a secret. I did get a phone call last night. I know who the recipient is this year, but no, I'm not going to divulge it. And we always announce that at the event, and that's kept kind of secret, and there have been 5 great recipients so far. And there's many other people who are worthy. And hopefully we'll get the award in the future.
There you go. Well, for those of you that didn't catch it at the beginning, Polk County Amateur coming up August 2nd through the 3rd. It's at Lone Palm Golf Course. You can get more information by going to centralfloridasports.com and click on the Polk County Amateur icon, and it'll take you right there for more information and all the good stuff that's associated with that event. You're going to see some of the states, some of the region's best golfers. I mean, it's just
absolutely.
It's a great event. Make sure you check that out, everybody. Well, we do have some very special footage, but before I go to that, I do want to thank you, Dr. Radocha, for coming on board, and to you and your selection, or your committee rather, Drew and Bruce, who always do a world-class job. They're world-class golfers too, by the way. But great event and a great time, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that footage I was mentioning, another ball sport. That ball, soccer. Florida Youth Soccer Association, with its headquarters in Polk County, actually the largest sports governing body in the state of Florida, based out at Lake Myrtle. But the youth development program, called the Youth Premier League, it's a mouthful, but it's a great league, great footage. Check it out. Mark and John, we'll be back right after this.
Region 3 Premier League, which is Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, and usually the top 2 or 3 teams play in a league together. Then they have Southern Premier League, which is a step above that, which is all of Region 3 from Florida to Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, and down. There's usually about 6 teams that play in that league, so that's what we were playing in today.
For us, this is a home game, so it's actually a nice thing. Anytime you get to stay in the state of Florida with all the teams that we have at the national, the level that we're playing at in the national, it's always great to play at these fields in front of FYSA, our main headquarters, and get the opportunity to come up here and play. Obviously, we like to play here because we know anytime that we're up here, it's a marquee game, whether it's a league game or a state championship Final Four. This is a good place to be and a good place for soccer.
We are Pinecrest Premier from Miami, Florida, and we are currently at Auburndale Sports Complex. I've been playing since I was about 5, soccer in general. I started playing soccer when I was 5.
I was 7 when I started playing soccer, so that makes it 10 years already, almost 11.
I play on Pinecrest Premier, and I've been playing for 2 years. Before I was playing on Kindle Soccer Coalition, and I was on that team for I think 4 or 5 years. I used to play with Pinecrest like 5 years ago, and then I left, and then I just came back this year. So this is my first full year 100% on this team.
I've been playing with Pinecrest for the past 5 years.
I'm playing soccer in the future at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. In the future, I'll be playing for FIU.
Team goal right now is to make it to regionals, and my goal is, well, I'm gonna play college soccer at Georgia College and State University.
My girls are in the top 5 in the state of Florida. We're currently playing in SPL and R3PL. Until today, we started off the season undefeated. Depending results tonight, we have a chance to win the SPL championship. My girls have been together for several years now, spanning from Tavernier, Key West, all the way into Coral Springs. It's a united team, a group of athletes that have been working hard since they were the age of 5, 6, and 8 years old.
Storm, and we're in Auburndale, Florida today. We just beat Pinecrest 2-0.
I've been playing soccer for as long as I can remember, and I've been playing on the team since 5th grade, this Ponte Vedra Storm.
I've been playing since I was 3 years old, and I've been on this team for 2 years total.
I've been playing soccer since I was like 4 or 5, and I've been on the Ponte Vedra Storm team for about 4 years. I plan to also play in college. I'm looking forward to that mostly.
I'm really just looking forward to like winning state cup and going to Southern Regionals with this team for our last year, and then going off to Florida International to play D1 soccer.
Right now I just want to go play in college. I'm looking forward to that.
It was a good game. I think the girls played really well. It was hot as all get out, so that was a little difficult to handle. But we knew it was going to be a good game. Pinecrest are one of our big rivals in state, so I thought the girls played very well.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. If you're just joining us, shame on you. I'm Mark Jackson. To my right, Mr. John Oney.
Shame on them. All I have to say is this segment's brought to you by Bright House Networks.
Absolutely.
Fine
Well,
folks out there.
thanks so much for joining us, everybody. And we talked golf, one of Polk County's biggest sports economically and, in terms of prestige, John, it is a phenomenal. You got Andy Bean and you got Bruce Scamhorn and these guys that have come out of Polk County that are just.
Yeah, Lee Jansen, Rocco Mediate, all of them. They've all been here.
My wife was Lee Jansen's first girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Oh. Does he get you free tickets ever at all, or no?
I don't think that's going to be in
probably not
in the works. But real nice guy, personable, fine gentleman.
You want to talk about a fine person? We've got one here with us right now.
Oh, absolutely. You like fine people.
I do like fine people.
Yeah, lots of talent.
Yes.
On and off the course, now onto the water.
Absolutely.
Well, Tracy Mattis, Executive Director of USA Water Ski Foundation. And for those of you that don't know, Tracy, the foundation is the only water ski museum in the world.
Yes.
It's based here in Polk County, which is the water ski capital of the world.
Yes.
And you took over just a little more than a year ago, and big shoes to fill, but you've done I think there's been more changes in the last year, probably than in the last 10. So it's moving.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah.
And working with the governing body together, we're taking some great steps forward, and we have made a lot of changes and some exciting things happening.
Well,
yeah. So for the viewers out
Sure.
there, what exactly is USA Water Ski Foundation?
Well, the foundation has been around since 1968, very integral part of the fabric of water skiing. We're a 501c3, so what we do is we raise funds to preserve the history of water skiing. We have the museum, as you've just mentioned. We celebrate our heroes in the Hall of Fame. We host the International Water Ski and Wakeboard Hall of Fame. And we also promote the future of the sport. We work with the industry and we work with different organizations, including the national governing body, to grow the sport, promote it, and we really connect the past with the future. And that's the main drivers of the things we're doing. And included in that is supporting the U.S. teams and various other camps. We provide scholarships, various different things, between, like I say, from grassroots to Hall of Fame to really promote the sport.
Well, of course, USA Water Ski is the U.S. Olympic Committee's official
Yes.
governing body of the
Yes.
sport. And you're sort of sister organizations, but the Olympic movement is something that you're no stranger to. Tell us a little bit about your background and the position that you held before blessing the USA Water Ski Foundation with your wit, wisdom, and guidance.
I was very fortunate. I had the position of Executive Director of Global Programs for the World Olympians Association. And that is part of the International Olympic Committee, a lot of people known as the IOC. And they were the arm of the IOC over all of the athletes that have ever competed, all of the Olympians that have ever competed. And we have a little more than 100,000 Olympians throughout the world. And what our organization did was create programs that would get them back into the communities to give back. We called it the 5 rings under various. We had education, we had culture, we had environment, those things. And of course, London was my 9th Olympic Games. We held every summer the Olympians Reunion Center, which was the big event. And it really brought them, and it was kind of, Jacques Rogge, who was the former IOC president, called it the most exclusive club at the Games, because here was the place that the Olympians came home to, and the new Olympians came back to as, we had the tagline, once an Olympian, always Olympian. And it really was an incredible alumni of people that are doing some great things throughout the world to really, promote those values to our young people and the things that matter in all sports. And you see it in no matter what sport, those values that really get our young people and really make things great for our societies when you look at some of the alternative things that could happen if they don't have a sport or group or something like that to get involved in.
Yeah, I think that's critical, and really for you in the leadership position you're in, drawing on that Olympic movement experience, I think is phenomenal, and it's so important.
Yes.
Talk about a little bit about some of the events that you guys do to help develop the sport and continue developing the sport?
Well, we work right now, one of the things that we look at, we promote the values, and we start with obviously health and fitness for kids. So, the national governing body has its, camp program, Learn to Ski program. The Learn to Ski was developed by the foundation and then run through the national governing body. That's a great way to see the two organizations working together. We provide grants for youth camps. If young people want to get together and they've got a camp, a lot of times they need equipment or they need a boat or they need gas, and we provide grants that provide that. Kind of going up the ladder, we provide scholarships that run through there for the national people that win the nationals at Boys 1, Boys 2, Boys 3. So when it comes to time that they go to school, they have some money banked away in an account, a little trust for them by the time they go there. And then we offer, in fact, we just announced our 9 scholarship winners this year. And I tell you, and because water skiing is one of those sports, unlike football or track and field, which was my background, that a lot of colleges don't offer scholarships. It's a smaller sport, often a club sport. So what our organization does is make available scholarships. So, this year we have Erica Lang, Casey Wilson, Ellie Horton, from Florida Southern. I mean, some great athletes here that need that help with they want to get their education. That's important to them, but they want to continue their sport. So we make that happen for them. And
that's sort of typical. In some ways, it's atypical, if you will, of other sports disciplines as well.
Right.
You see that in track and field,
Yes.
and so which happens to be your background. Tell us a little bit about
Yes.
that. Where else? She's from Wisconsin.
I'm from Wisconsin.
She's from
Yes.
Wisconsin.
I got
Yes,
two Wisconsin
I'm from
ites here.
2
Packers
cheeseheads.
fan, the whole-
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic.
And it's funny. It's actually a funny story how I actually got started in track too. I was a cheerleader, and my brother was state champion in Wisconsin, and it was really a bet with my brother. I said, at a state championships, I said, "Well, it doesn't look that hard to do," and he said, "You couldn't do it," And we got into this brother sister, and I went out for track, won 3 state championship titles. I picked the hurdles because it was his event. And in fact, the records I set that year still stand today, 28 years later. So, and then then of course, you get recruited, scholarships. And I started at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, fantastic team, Big Ten champions, NCAA. But I was recruited by some warm weather schools that said, you're doing fantastic. You're a freshman in the finals of the NCAA championships. If you'd come to a warm weather school, because it was really a distance running centered school, and we had some fantastic distance running centered in the University of Wisconsin at that time. And they said, if you train with other sprinters and hurlers in warm weather year round. So I made the decision to transfer to Arizona State University when I was my junior year, and it was the best decision I ever made because my times just dropped, and top 10 in the U.S., then top 10 in the world, and of course Atlanta. And it's funny because '96 Atlanta, and of course that was the big Olympic year. And it was funny because my brother that year said to me, "If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here." So that our brother-sister thing still kind of goes. And then from there, was lucky enough to continue with the Olympic family, in kind of, and this is where I really like working with the athlete, because I know what it is to be an athlete. I know that what they need. We're one of the few countries in the world that is not supported by our government. Yeah. Almost every other Olympic committee is government funded. Here we have the biggest, the best Olympic team in the world, and then they're not. So I understand being an athlete, what they have to do, and the discipline it takes, and how sometimes it is a struggle to kind of, you leave this college where you're all supported, and then you're out here, on a pro circuit, if you will. You're kind of on your own. So, yeah. But in water skiing, our great athletes have that same problem. So we're in the middle now trying to develop some travel and training grant, so that those elite athletes can also, maintain what they're doing.
Well, at risk of getting the hook from our on-site director, Megan, here, I do have one quick question for you. And I know there's there's more that you can't say than you can say.
Okay.
And there's sort of an initiative underway to expand the foundation and USA Water Ski's footprint, if you will, into cable water skiing, wakeboarding, board sports, and those types of things. And that's a realistic dream. And ultimately, I think getting the rings, Olympic rings, as a training center, we're in a hot and heavy effort right now.
We're in a really unique time in our history when you look at how the sport has come. There was a time when it was exhibition in the games, but it never entered the games. And the sport has, wakeboarding came on, and then of course the cable wakeboarding came on, and it took its first shot, made the short list to go into the games. Of course, we all know wrestling came back, so that the others didn't get really the shot that they could have had that incident not happened. But they're on the short list again, and they're going to go for it again, and they've got an incredible opportunity now to go into the games because when you look at the history and how snowboard made it into the games, and it's the hottest ticket at the Winter Games now. And you're looking at cable wakeboarding is the same thing on water. So, it really has that kind of push behind it to show, this does work. And so as the foundation and as the national governing body, embracing the cable wakeboarding, and that's one thing. So we are taking those steps, and it's exciting, and I think it'll kind of speak volumes to the industry as well to see that, here is the foundation and the national governing body, we are embracing this as well.
And it's right here in epicenter.
And it's right here in Polk County, in the water ski capital of the world. I mean, you couldn't you couldn't dream up a better scenario to actually make that happen. And so we are working with some great people, great partners to try to bring this together and bring it to the foundation and really bring some more members to the national governing body and really promote and get behind the sport. And of course, ultimately, the rings are the.
That's it.
And for the athletes to be able to have that opportunity to compete for their country. And I mean, it's just they get a little bit of that in the Pan American Games, but the Olympics is a whole nother level, and I think it would just be great for the sport on so many levels, and just getting it. It will revolutionize our sport, and it's exciting. It's happening in golf. In fact, you just talked about golf. 2016, in 2 years, you'll see it in Rio de Janeiro at the Olympic Games, first time. So, they're going through that now. So we hope to be going through that a few years down the road.
2020. Absolutely. Well, Tracy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We appreciate it, and we're going to have you back for more updates and what's going on with USA Water Ski Foundation.
Okay.
Thankin to you, and of course Paul Chapin, your chairman.
Yep,
good friend again from Minnesota.
Yes.
A lot of
Midwest.
us,
a lot of skiers.
John, you're surrounded by
in fact, real quick, there's more water skiers per capita in the state of Wisconsin than any other state.
I'm not surprised by that. I'm really not.
It's just the way it is, buddy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, we're going to dial it down a notch or two, and what's so important to sports, whether amateur or professional, are volunteers. And we have a special group of people in a special place right here in Polk County that's called Outpost 27. It's the official visitor center. There's another one at Legoland, Florida, but this is the main one. Justin LaFerriere gives us a little insight what's going on up there, how they help visitors, including our sports athletes. Check this out. We'll be back right after this.
Polk Outpost 27 is the official visitor information center for Polk County. So our purpose is to not only attract visitors to our building, but when they come through our doors, we try to focus on a three-pronged approach of conversion, education, and enhancement. And what I mean by that is we want to convert anybody and everybody that comes into our building into overnight stays for Polk County. We want to educate them on what there is to see and do within Polk County, and then we want to enhance their experience not only within the building, but in Polk County as well. And if we accomplish all three of those facets, visitors are happy with their stay, they're happy with their vacation, they tell their friends, they tell their family, and it in turn creates more visitors for us to do the same thing once again. I think the mindset when this building was first built was we wanted to keep away from the prototypical perception of a visitor center, which is a brochure library. You walk in and it's wall-to-wall pamphlets of information that you don't really know how to discern. We wanted to make it more interactive. We talked a lot about the wow factor. When people walk through the doors, the first thing they say is wow, and they can't believe what they're walking into. And that creates a good perception not only for us, but for the county as a whole. So it's from anything from the map on the floor of Polk County, where people can literally feel like they're standing in Polk County, to the three-sided and four-sided panel kiosks that play interactive movies about different attractions and things to see and do, to the theater that plays videos and slideshows about different things to see and do in Polk County, even all the way back in the building to the pond which gives visitors a feel of what they would see at a local lake within Polk County. There's largemouth bass out there, bluegill, brim, an occasional gator, and a time or two. So it really gives visitors a sense of what they can see and do within Polk County. We really try to focus on a little bit more of the authentic feel, the down-home experience they would get within Polk County. Obviously, like I said, the prototypical visitor center has their own perception, and along with that goes the sense that it's only there for tourists. It's only there for new people coming into town, and that's not the case. Yes, we focus mainly on tourists, but we offer a whole list of things that can accommodate residents as well, whether it be our attraction ticket sales, where you can get anything from Legoland and Bach Tower to Disney World, Universal, and Busch Gardens as well, along with a few other options. Also, we have a very, very good partnership with the Polk County Library Cooperative, where only people, mostly residents, that have a Polk County Library card can come in, rent DVDs, rent books, and then drop them off, and that's all free of charge for them. We even get into the sense of offering welcome bags for reunions that are brought in. We do a very good job of trying to disseminate our information, whether it be to tourists or residents alike. Whether it be accommodation information, oftentimes reunions are being brought in, church conferences, parties, whatever the case may be, meetings and conventions. And it's our job then to put together the information that is pertinent for those people, especially accommodations listings with the short-term rentals, hotel, motel, and then the things to see and do as well when they have some downtime, whether it be from a reunion or a meeting. We get a lot of residents as well that come in and from visiting our center, they find out something new about Polk County inevitably. Myself living in the county for 20 plus years, I'm still learning about Polk County. There's all sorts of little things, little hidden gems, if you will, that people don't know about. And that's the stuff that we try and promote. That's the stuff that we push that visitors and again residents alike can't get anywhere else. We've worked pretty hard to assemble a team, both young and old, new and experienced, but all very excited about Polk County and what it has to offer. I'd be willing to put our team up against anybody, not only in the state, but in the country, even in the world. Polk Outpost 27 is open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are closed for major holidays, but there is no other visitor center like us that's open as many days as we are with the amount of hours we are. Visitors can absolutely find out more information as residents as well on our website at visitcentralflorida.org. That's the best way. We do have collateral throughout Polk County at major attractions, major accommodations, or major restaurants where they can get information on us as well. But the best way is to come in and see us, come through our doors, experience what we have to offer, talk with our wonderful staff, our intelligent staff, and become excited about what Polk County has to offer. The value of this place goes all the way back to the selection of the site of where it is. We're able to pull people not only from the Tampa region, especially from the Orlando region. They see our signs, they see our marketing efforts, and they come talk to us and they come engage with us, and it gives us the opportunity to achieve our mission in putting heads in beds and making cash registers ring. This building itself, since its inception, is more than paid for itself. We've achieved over $40 million in economic impact just by being here.
Well, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Ryan Ritchie, and our segment sponsor today is Hungry Howie's, and we're here in a hot and humid Cypresswood Golf and Country Club, and joining us is Alex Bose from Bose Tennis Academy. Alex, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming on here to Sports Central.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Looking forward to being here.
Alex, you just received the U.S. PTA District Professional of the Year. Congratulations on that honor. How does that impact your career?
Well, I think it's a very prestigious award, and I'm honored to have received it. It basically stands for the industry standard that I'm one of the top performers as a coach, and what I do with the programs. So it's nominated by my peers, by fellow teaching professionals. So definitely it's going to have a great impact on my career. It just reflects all the effort and work we put in our program and the clients.
And as we talk about your career, just kind of where did it all get started? What have you done throughout your career, and kind of where you're at today with Bose Tennis? Kind of walk us through your career.
Well, I started playing tennis at the age of 3 because my brother was into tennis, and by the age of 7 I was winning tournaments under 12 years of age, and then I reached a top 20 ranking in Europe. So I got invited by Nick Bollettieri of the Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy down in Sarasota, Florida. So I moved here at age 14 from Germany and started training there for 8-9 years, and I became one of the top 20 juniors in the world. I made the quarterfinal at Wimbledon and several other junior Grand Slam tournaments, and then I played on a professional tour, reached the top 500 on the ATP World Tour with Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras, and then went on to be recruited by Duke University, played for them. We reached a national ranking of number 2. So I wanted to further my career with the education, combine it kind of with the tennis part. So I graduated from Duke in 2003 and then opened Bose Tennis Management.
Let's talk about Bose Tennis, the program that you founded in 2003. What can people expect when they come out here? Talk to us about the programs that you offer.
Okay, well, Bose Tennis is a full-service management company. We cater to any age, any level, any ability. Pretty much anything that has anything to do with tennis, from group lessons to private lessons to college advising to sponsorships to contract negotiations. We handle everything. So pretty much anything that you need in the tennis world, you can come to me, and my firm will handle all of it.
And there's so many tennis academies throughout the state, throughout the world. Talk about what sets, Bose Tennis, what sets them apart from all the other academies throughout the world?
I think Bose Tennis is more catered to the individual. It's not like a mass production, so I'm more involved in my students and my clients' lives. I know what's going on with the children, what sports they're participating in, what their goals are, and that's just much easier on a smaller level, on a more individual basis. So it's more like a luxury service. And that's pretty much what the biggest difference is. People know me, they're part of a family, part of a team, and I think the people enjoy that, the clients enjoy that, and they thrive in that kind of environment.
Now, earlier on you talked about how you you enrolled at Duke University, you graduated, got your education. Talk about the importance of staying in school, and I know that sometimes in sports, whether they're a kid or whatever, they're kind of withdrawing through college. Talk about the importance of and how it impacted your career in staying in college and getting your education and where you're at today.
Yeah, well, I think education is very important, and only very few make it to the very top and can earn a living playing tennis. Tennis opens a lot of doors. It's kind of a lifetime sport, and kind of what your personality is on the tennis court is kind of shapes your personality off the court, and it helps you go through life. It's an individual sport that makes you tough. You have to be mentally tough, physically tough. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of determination. So I think even though not everybody can go on to be a great professional player, the United States has a lot of great college programs that we filter people and players into, and the education just gives those kids a security and for the rest of their lives, and the tennis is the pathway, the gateway to get that education. And I think it's just very important that that the kids stay in school, and with the average tennis age being about 28, 29 for the top players at this stage, kids have plenty of time to go to college, play collegiate tennis, and go on to professional careers if they're good enough. But if they're not good enough, then they can go and work on Wall Street and can do other things. So definitely I wouldn't change that.
You talked about you had the opportunity to go to Nick Bollettieri's Tennis Academy, one of the most prestigious programs I would say in the world. Talk about how that program made an impact in your career.
Yeah, I mean, the Nick Bollettieri's Academy is the most prestigious and also the most famous tennis school in the world, and I got there at age 14, and I trained there my whole life pretty much from then on going forward. Nick Bollettieri was like a second father. I even for certain stages in my life lived in one of his apartments next to him, and I was part of his elite group. And we traveled all the world together, and he had a huge impact, just like on any other students. I grew up with children from about 84 countries, so it contributed to us being very independent, very open-minded, very tolerating of others. So many different cultures living together, and to this day hundreds of friends from all over the world. I mean, I can make a call to Australia and I'll have a place to stay tomorrow. We've stayed in touch over 25 years now, long time. So it's an irreplaceable experience, and you know, it's probably shaped my entire career, and a lot of stuff that I do now in my career path and at Bose Tennis represents the integrity and the values and the determination that Nick Bollettieri really instilled in us.
Sure. Now, getting back to Bose Tennis, the academy that you've started here back in 2003, talk about if there's individuals that want to get involved in your programs and stuff like that. What contact information could you give? You know, a website that they can visit to learn more about Bose Tennis?
Sure. You can go on www.bosetennis.com, and it pretty much explains all the services we have, all the accolades that I've acquired over the years, and all the updates of all the children that I have playing in tournaments and winning, and everything is there from A to Z. You can just read up on it. There's tennis tips on there as well, pictures and photos of events, and I would just recommend people go there and they can contact us through that website.
Sure. Now, a guy like me who really struggles to actually serve the ball, what kind of tips can you give me, pretty brief, on how I can serve the tennis ball just perfect, getting in that box?
Well, the main thing is 80% of the serve is the toss. You have to be able to throw the toss to yourself at the same height, same level, over and over again. You can practice it at the garage, in front of your garage, but that's the main part. Left arm up, toss high enough, and then swing through the ball.
Let's talk about more the District Professional of the Year, that award that you were just awarded by the USPTA. How did you get that award? Talk about the meaning of that award, and just go from there.
Well, the USPTA award that I received is very prestigious. I'm very lucky to have won it. I was nominated by my peers for it and ended up winning the award. It basically represents the effort we put, Bose Tennis puts into the community and creating programs and contributing to charities and putting our time in for charity efforts and growing tennis in Florida. I'm very involved in growing tennis in Florida. A lot of my players go on to play on many teams all over Florida, play a lot of tournaments, and that just keeps children feeding in the system so that the tennis doesn't become extinct. It's a healthy sport, and you know, I think the USPTA looks forward for people that contribute a lot to tennis like we do, and take a real interest in tennis and in our players, and I think that's what the main reason was.
Sure.
We won that award.
Talk about the growth of tennis. How does tennis evolve more into what, you know, possibly soccer's getting into, obviously the World Cup that we just had. Talk about how does tennis grow here in this country?
Well, the main thing is to make it available to more players, to more people, make it affordable, and they've changed the tennis balls. You know, the last few years they've changed the tennis balls. They have a very strong USTA under 10 program now. We're using a lighter ball without pressure so that more kids can have a better experience and they don't have to be really good to right away start and don't get discouraged. So they've done a good job spreading the courts a little bit smaller and changing the ball to make it a little easier and lighter. And that has really contributed to more children playing tennis, but we got to keep working on it and keep pushing our children to go play tournaments and meet other people and do more group work and just become involved.
Sure, and talk more about those grassroots programs. Are there any locally around here in the area that you can think of? And
yes, Jeff McCardle at Haines City does a really good job with little children, with programs, and Haines City has all the courts ready already with the lines for little kids, and I think Andy Durham in Auburndale, he's trying hard to grow the kids program. There's another gentleman named Dave Saltman who's been doing a really good job with young players in Auburndale. So we've got a good group of people that are trying hard to make this bigger and you know, therefore better for everybody.
You know, most recently with Wimbledon going on, we've seen a few young stars actually beat some of the bigger stars. Talk about that. I mean, it seems like a lot of young tennis stars are kind of rising up into the ranks, and just talk a little bit about that, some of the futures that are maybe coming up that we can look out for.
Yeah, I think since tennis become a little bit more accessible, I think more people to draw from, so we're getting a lot of young players filling in now, but they're not really as much from the United States, so that's why we have to do a better job and growing the sport here a little more, because for as big as we are, we don't have enough players feeding in. The Agassiz and Sampras that I was part of and trained with at Volunteers, they're kind of gone, and we haven't had a Grand Slam champion in a while on the men's side. So I think we need to just, like I said, make it more affordable and more accessible to more people. Then we can grow more from there. But the young players are just, people are stronger now. They work really hard, and they're coming up very young. Especially on the men's side, a lot of young players coming up now, and it's been pretty much controlled by the top 4 players: Murray, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. But new players are coming in. You see some upsets at Wimbledon, but it's sports. Anything can happen any day. It just shows how strong these top players are and how disciplined that they keep winning week in and week out. So I think we need to just work more on our determination and on work ethic, and have kids be more committed, not to too many sports. But I think you can only pretty much be involved in 2 sports maximum until you go to college, and then that's it. I mean, too many sports is not going to be good for our kids.
What do you think we need to do to improve U.S. tennis?
I think our juniors aren't as hungry as other countries. We have so much here. We're so lucky to have so many beautiful things and so much access and availability to everything that we probably don't appreciate as much as other countries do, and they're just hungrier. And if you go to Russia, they have trouble getting equipment, and they just work harder and are hungrier and more determined and fight harder and make no excuses. And I think it's just a cultural thing. We're just very lucky here, and I think that contributes to a little bit of laziness. And I think that's the main thing that we need to improve. Just make our kids hungrier and be hard on them and expect more out of them.
Well, Alex, we appreciate you joining us here. Wonderful program, Bose Tennis. You can check them out on their website, bosetennis.com, and all the wonderful things they have going on, the programs for the youth, children, and senior citizens, and even from novice and professional players. You do it all here. We appreciate you joining us here on Sports Central.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us, and thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
We'll be back right after this.
The IPSC 2014 World Shoot Competition is coming to Polk County, and you can be a part of this exciting world-class event. Volunteer Polk and Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing are looking for volunteers to help with this competition in October. Volunteer opportunities are available for participant check-in and celebration. To learn more about becoming a volunteer, go to polk-county.net/volunteer.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson here along with John Oney. And John, Alex, he's quite the pro, but he played at Wimbledon.
He really is quite the pro, and to have an opportunity to play in Wimbledon as a junior still, that's incredible. What an experience. I didn't know he was in Polk County, let alone Winter Haven.
Well, he was at the old Lake Region Country Club, and there was a battle of the sexes that took place between one of the girls that was playing, Jen Myers, and myself. I won't tell you the results, but he kind of helped me out with some of my my tennis skills.
Did he?
Yeah, he's good.
2014 USPTA District Professional of the Year.
Awesome.
And he's here in Winter Haven, Polk County.
Yep, out at Cypresswood.
We're lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got somebody to thank, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to thank Holiday Inn Winter Haven for being a sponsor of this segment.
Well, it's certainly hard to beat the talent that we had on the show today. I mean, Tracy Mattis, we had Dr. Rich Radocha in the Polk County Amateur. He's a scratch golfer. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, and in fact, we were playing at Pinehurst one time. I didn't win one hole.
Really?
Yeah, not one.
He's not giving you enough strokes. You need to ask for more strokes. Wow. The negotiation and the match, Mark, start on the first hole. So you
starts before that, and the 19th hole.
So just remember that.
Okay. Well, I need all the tips I can get there, John. So Holiday in Winter Haven, huh?
Holiday Winter Haven is our sponsor for the local update. We've got a lot of good things happening.
It's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat the guests, but when it comes to what's happening and what's up and coming here in Polk County, John, fact, you've got a special event that you're kind of proud of.
Yeah, one I want to mention is the greenhulk.net Hydro Drag U.S. Nationals. It's out at, I know. Have you ever heard of it? Hydro Drag is jet skis that go 0 to 100 miles an hour in about 3 seconds, straight shot. And so they're up at the USA Water Ski Lake. Is it Lake Grew?
Named after Jim Grew.
Jim Grew. That's this weekend, July 12th, and tickets are available, and it's a great spectator event.
That's it's right off of I-4, and you just take 557 north out of L.A., Lake Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's great about it? It's located off of Holy Cow Road.
Yeah, on Lake Grew.
I didn't realize that. Holy Cow Road.
Holy Cow Road, yeah. Technically in Polk City.
It's pretty neat.
One of our metropolises.
So yeah, I wanted to mention that event.
Hey, Flying Tigers had their ups, had their downs. Still doing pretty well, though, at least in my opinion. That's one of the best entertainment values, I'll have to say, in Polk County. Lakeland Flying Tigers. Well, Sunday the 20th, all right, up against Jupiter. 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Unfortunately, they're in Jupiter. But they'll be back. And, you know, it's an experience that you can take your family to, not break the bank. It's a safe place to go. Saturday they have fireworks, so hats off to Ron Meyer, Zach Burek, and all the folks over with the Lakeland Flying Tigers, and of course the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, great job out there. Another event to look out for is the Mid-Florida Table Tennis Tour.
You know, that's a really cool event. I've had so many people comment about that event, how fun it is to watch. Oh, man, I didn't know these guys were that good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in Lakeland at Simpson Park Community Center. July 18th and July 19th, so it's another one to look up for coming up.
Well, baseball's hot and heavy, of course, everybody. It's one of those sports this time of the year. All-Star break coming up here, and I'm looking forward to that. Home Run Derby's my favorite, though.
Yeah, that's neat. I think I read today that Chris Sale is an All-Star.
Yeah.
Right here from Polk County.
Yep.
So
big news.
That is big news.
In fact, it was front page of the Ledger.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Big time stuff. Well, anyway, the WABA, you know what that is? World Amateur Baseball Association, their National Invitational being held at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park on Berkeley Road in Auburndale. That's coming up the 24th through the 27th, so it's a good run there of July, that is. And, you know, this is a national event being played once again at Lake Myrtle, and also in Winter Haven at the Chain of Lake Parks. Bing Tyus runs that, Hall of Famer. Bing Tyus.
Recent inductee of the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame.
He kept saying, this is so humbling, this is so humbling. Of course, he's a humble guy.
Yeah.
You know, except when he gets around his wife. Then he's real humble. Debbie takes care of him.
There you go.
Oh, man. She's a good combination there. Great family.
Mark, we're running out of time, so I want to thank some sponsors here real quick, if I may. Hampton Inn Winter Haven, Sunsplash Vacation Homes, Hampton Inn Lakeside, Hungry Howie's, and the Ledger.
Love Hungry Howie's.
Yeah, I can go for some right now.
Oh, I'm starving. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have this show. If you just can't get enough of old John and Mark, hey, we've got a nice surprise for you. We're on every single day. In fact, this show re-airs all the way up until July 25th. Next live show will be coming at you, and probably live from Lake Myrtle out in Auburndale at the sports complex there. It's going to be a great show with some great guests. But from now, this is Mark Jackson, this is John Oney, and we thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time.